Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are right now. Happy weekend to you. It's another beautiful day, another beautiful weekend to learn, relearn, and unlearn. And today is going to be an interesting and insightful session. So, if you can see me well and you can hear me audibly well, it's the JC Matters with Roy, and I'm so excited to be here again. So to all our new viewers out there, if this is your first time, you are highly welcome. And to all our returning viewers, we say a very big thank you to you all for always joining us on this amazing conversation. And as you know, guys, I'm not the only one in the building today. I have this amazing couple, our wonderful special guest, who is no other person but Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji. Kindly introduce yourself, sir. And man, in fact, thank you so much for another privilege to have you with us on this live stream. We really appreciate your love, your support, and always being there to share with us from your wealth of knowledge. Guys, join me in welcoming Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji. Over to you, sir and Ma. Kindly introduce yourself. Tell us any other
Right.
thing that you'd like us to know about you.
Okay, stop me. They're introducing us.
Okay, my name is Alibumi, and this is my husband, Fola Bolaji. We both live in Massachusetts. Currently in Indiana, we have three kids, two boys and one girl. We've been married for close to 12 years now. It will be 12 years in December.
13 years.
Wow.
Is it 13?
Yeah.
No, 13 years in
Wow.
December. And what else? That's about it. Thank you.
Wow. How time flies. Wow. That's to show you that today is going to be an interesting session. It was Sister Bumi that introduced Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji today. All right, so guys, today's discussion is going to be an amazing one, and I would like you to share this video out with your friends, your colleagues at work, your siblings, maybe your brothers and sisters that you know that will likely benefit from the discussion today. And as you can see, today we are talking about overcoming the fear of getting started on your marital journey. Guys, I know there are lots of people out there who are still contemplating. They actually want to get married, but that fear of how is it going to look like, this major decision I'm trying to make, what will it look like? What would the guy look like? What would the woman look like? Am I going to enjoy this journey? Well, will I be able to satisfy this person? So many things, so many questions bothering their minds. And some just conclude, I don't think I can continue on this journey. I'm even ready to start at all. Today we are looking at some of these challenges, and actually we'll be considering how you can overcome this phobia, because of course, yes, it's a phobia if you do not know. So guys, Jamin, welcome me, bro, Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji once again. So over to you, sir and Ma. I would like us to discuss those things that actually make people fearful, the causes of the fear of getting started on this marital journey.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity once again. And it's nice to be here. Um, for any journey that you have not embarked before, you have not embarked upon before, there is possibility of being afraid, the fear of the anticipation of or the anticipation of what you are going to experience. You're smiling. You want to say something? No, no, you can chap, you can chip something in.
Okay, like, I just googled the fear of marriage, and it actually has a name. It's a psychological problem, and it's called gamophobia. So if I see that word, like, I will think it has to do with gambling or playing games,
Not about marriage.
not about marriage, but it's actually the fear of commitment or fear of marriage. So it's a psychological problem, actually.
So,
Mm.
if you're starting a new journey or if you're launching into something new, there is that anticipation of what you are going to face, and it can bring about some kind of fear. Some level of fears may be what some people are experiencing. And everybody, because everybody, we want to be sure that are they taking the right step, and are they taking the step with the right person. Now, some of those things that brings about fear are the stories of others, the experiences that others are sharing. And that has made some people to say, no, I don't want to do this. Oh, I'm not ready. Oh, am I really ready? And things like that. Fear of how will I handle my partner? How will I handle cooking? How will I handle home? How will I begin to take responsibility? What about finances? What about job? What about the fact that I'm going to be limited in terms of freedom or something? Different kind of fears. I remember when I was in college, I used to tell my friends that I don't want to be engaged now because I changed the engagement. I removed the G. I put it C. I put C replacing the G. I call it engagement. Now, when you are engaged, you are already engaged. So when you are engaged, you are not free to do things that you have always been free doing when you are single, and things like different kind of fears. Some of them are genuine, some of them are not genuine, some of them are just based on hearsay or things that people have watched in movie and began to think and began to nurse fear about marriage. And all these fears are actually not necessary, but we'll be talking about them. So let me yield to you.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say that I want to. Well, it's the same thing, though. You say anxiety and fear are the same, but I think that there are some. I think we should categorize it into like classes. There are some people whose fear is due to maybe the experiences of their parents or previous experiences, even by them. Like they loved someone, they trusted them, and they hit back at them, and they just feel that can you actually like find someone who really will be committed to you, or they've been betrayed before in a relationship, and that brings in some form of fear. So that has a lot to do with like ASA and other people's experiences. That's one category. And another block is actually personal experiences, maybe in relationship, like I said, maybe breakups and stuff like that. And I think another category that we also want us to touch on is the fear that is based on reality of this current relationship. For example, you're in a relationship with a brother, and the brother is beginning to show some signs. And for you, it's appearing like, will this brother actually be trustworthy in marriage? That's another fear of going into that marriage due to the reality of what you're getting to know about the brother or the sister you are in a relationship with. And that's like another category, which it can also be like a legitimate fear, but there should be things that can be done about that. Like, for example, if you're in a relationship with somebody and the person has his eyes everywhere on other ladies, like he doesn't seem to like be committed to you, and you're already seeing the red flag, I think that that is a time to to think and think again, to be like, is this going to be a marriage or maybe engagement, like you said? So, and to decide whether to go on or not, instead of living in that fear, and you don't want to get out of the relationship because you don't want to be single, but you're tolerating it, and you know that you have a lot of fear for even committing to marriage. So I want us to look at it in those different silos of the different kind of things that people experience.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir and ma. And like Brofala said, some people actually their fear is based on past experiences. And while some people's fear are based on past experiences, some, you know, their hearts have been broken before. Like they've had disappointments with one brother or one
Yeah.
sister, or maybe two brothers or two sisters before, and now someone coming to tell them, oh bro, don't be tired, give give God another chance. You can do this, you can still get the right person, you know. You know, in such a situation, it takes courage for someone in that situation, whether a brother or a sister, to actually push ahead, to actually keep going, like, I want to give it a trial again. Or for someone who has actually experienced like setbacks one way or the other, or maybe the parents, different situations for different folks. And today I would like us to look for, like, discuss ways by which people can actually overcome these different situations so they can keep going and start their own marital journey. Okay, I think we can start with
Want
Brofola.
to start?
Mhm.
No.
You kept thinking and you're
Yeah.
envisioning some stories, maybe.
Yes, different things are coming to mind and things like that.
Okay, like
So
a mother that has experienced like a divorce before and is counseling the daughter. Are you sure you want to marry? Possibly you could get a dog or something to start cuddling. You know, you'll be surprised at different stories from different people, and you're like, really? And the lady in question is like, "Ah, but I still want to marry. I want to marry." But the mother is telling her, "Are you sure you want to go ahead with this?" So,
yeah,
different stories from
yeah,
different people.
yeah. So actually, I got lost in thought because there was something that happened last Sunday.
Mm,
We were discussing in church. We do have refreshments after church, and we're all at the church. And we're discussing about some people that we are close to at the church. So we saw two of them, one a man and another one a woman. And the man, I had the opportunity of discussing marriage with him. He's close to 70 and he has never been married. He's an American man. And we have another woman in the same church. I think she's more than 65 years old and she has never been married. And myself and my wife discussed with her. When I got lost in thought, I was just thinking about how did they get to that level? What happened? I was
wow.
just thinking about different scenarios you are playing on my head, and it made me to lose focus at least for a few seconds. So then, myself and my wife were discussing with them, and the woman told us that people that she loved did not love her in return.
Hmm.
When she was ready, people that she wanted were people that did not love her, and people that loved her are people that she did not love. And it kept on going like that
Hmm.
until now she's 60 something and she's still living with her parents.
Wow.
Yeah, she's still living with her parents. So I was just thinking, just lost in thought that how do people normally get to this level? Now you narrated and you gave an illustration about some mother that is saying, oh, maybe you should just get a dog or something. But most parents that I've spoken with in this environment that have opened up to me, they were not giving that counsel. They were the one complaining to me that their kids have chosen to keep dogs instead of giving back to children. And there have been different scenarios, different stories. One of the stories that I witnessed somebody sharing in this environment was a father that maybe out of marital pressure and things like that, he took a gun, put it on his head, and He blew away his brain in the front of his 10-year-old son. So then the son is growing into the society. The fear of marriage, the fear of mental pressure, all of those things will begin to come into play. So different things are happening in in our world. Let me put it that way. But as you were talking, and as I was thinking that people had been so much, they have operated so much in a closed circuit, and at the end of the situation, they have not been able to get help that they need per time because we want to do our own things our own way, because we believe that we are smart, because we believe that we are intelligent, and we begin to pursue our own thing without wanting to interact with others, without wanting to be vulnerable, without wanting to share our idea or share our mind or share our challenges. And at the end of the day, we begin to grow up into a kind of fixed situation that will be difficult to change later in the future. So I think it's very, very important for us to think about people. How did they get to where they are now? What happened to them? Because things move on very fast. Before you know it, 5 years is gone. Before you know it, 10 years is gone. But parental influence should not, should not create unnecessary fear. Some parents, some mothers have told their children that, oh, never allow any man to put you through this kind of suffering. Some men have told their son, don't allow any woman to put you through this kind of situation. And that has created fear in the life of those young individuals. So, for such things, maybe we have not reached the level of talking about the solution, but I've seen,
We have reached it.
we have reached it. So, where I will say, if we are talking about solution, the first solution is to open up. If you are bottling up circumstances, you see, so many people have not been able to share what they have seen about their parental relationship, how their mother was treating their father, or how their father was treating their mother. You need to open up. You need to speak out. It's not everybody that experienced it that way. Some people have seen their mother cheated in the presence of their dad. Some people have seen their father cheated in the presence of their mom. Different things have happened in time past. And when all of these things are happening, then they will not be able to control or stomach those situations, when they will not be able to adjust to those situations when they grow up. They will be thinking that that is the same situation that will continue to replay in their own marital journey. So I will first recommend open up. No matter what your past is, no matter what your circumstance is, open up. Let people know what you are passing through. When people know what you are passing through, sorry, there's a distraction. So when people know what you are passing through, then it will be easy for them to counsel you, to share stories with you. Stories that are better than what you have stored up. Stories that are better than what you have learned. People will be able to share that with you. But if you have not been opening up to people, then it will be very difficult for you to be able to get help. That is, let me stop there. If Stubborn wants to add something to that.
Okay. I think that maybe I heard that when I was in school. I think the first time I read it was in Pastor Samadi Emi's book, where fear was defined as false evidence appearing real. And I think that definition is still true today. Anything that brings fear to us, when we look at it from the perspective of it's a false evidence, it's just appearing as if it's real. I think that kind of like reduce the effect it has on us to an extent. And like Brofola said, I think the starting point is actually opening up, being able to tell someone, I'm genuinely afraid. Now, I know that the devil attacks our heart with fear sometimes because that is part of his strategy to keep our eyes away from faith. And they will always say like unbelief, faith is fear is the opposite of faith. Like when you are afraid, then it means you are not even trusting the God who said that he has made all the provision for us. And I think that the fear or the anxiety can be a little bit legitimate sometimes because of everything that we hear, and especially in Africa where we don't usually talk numbers. We just say everybody or everyone. We generalize a lot without having facts to back it up. So since I was young, I grew up in the Baptist church and we have Sunbeam, GA, Lydia, and stuff like that. And since I was in GA, I hear
Guess auxiliary.
Gegs Auxiliary. So I hear marriage is hard, oh, marriage is tough. Have you really thought about it? It's like, are you considering this? As there's a way that they talk about it that makes you think this is really a challenge. And I wonder, like, are our parents not married? Because I don't see them beat themselves every day. Like, I don't see them like fighting themselves every time. It doesn't appear like they're doing some hard work. I know that, well, it's not easy raising kids, but it's not like every day of their life is like they are running on the treadmill. But there's a way it's painted, especially godly homes. They'll say godly homes are very scarce. And by the time we keep hearing all of those news, there's a way it can affect us. But not everybody will know the extent to which it is affecting you, because
Yeah.
not everybody can read your own mind. So if you know that this is affecting me, talk to someone, ask legitimate questions. Anytime I have challenge personally in my life, and um I'm beginning to become maybe like a little afraid of when we go do this, or about this or stuff like that, there's something that I like doing a lot, and that is watching testimonies. I just love watching other beautiful stories from other people. And by the time you listen to other people's story, by the time you hear other people talk, you it's kinds of, even without you having what you need at the moment, it downplays the challenge. That's because now you have a different story. Now you have seen another dimension. So if in your own family, it's a tug of war between your parents, everything was tough, it's like, I don't even want to have this kind of marriage. Why not get closer to your friends who have parents like who have it all together? Everywhere you are, like, I cannot say 100%, but in most cases there is always somebody else who have a different story. There are always couples that you can remember, and you look at their life and you be like, this is beautiful, this is something that I wish to have. And it's always good to just open up and say, I have this legitimate fear. And by the time you talk to people, you hear good things, or sometimes it's like, no, it's not that hard, like, it's just things like they'll say men cannot be trusted. And I know that on this channel, we have had several videos on different things like assumptions, myths about marriage, and several other things that people can go back to and watch, and just listen to them. So open up. And as Christians, I will say, go back to the word. What does the Bible say about marriage? What is God's concept of this commitment between man and woman? How tough has it been? How hard has it been, even from the biblical perspective? So I would say, go back to the word. And in the word also, you will find answers to all your anxieties and fear. And the one that holds a lot to my heart that I was thinking of is Philippians chapter 4, when the Bible says, don't be anxious for anything, but by prayer and supplication, make your request known to God. Like, you have a father that you can talk to. He's the creator of you, he's the creator of your spouse, whether current or future spouse. Is the creator of that person. He's the creator of marriage. So he has all the answers, and he has every piece for your fear. So I will just like say those few points, and yeah, let
Wow,
me just
wow,
stop.
wow. Thank you very much, Simon, for these amazing contributions. While Brofala and Stabum was talking, we have a comment from Ronat. He said, we are all for percent 100% assurance, green lights before entering into marriage. We have forgotten that marriage is a journey of faith with God in the boat. Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for that contribution. Like bro Fola said the other time, that how actually did we get here? He was wondering, how did people get to this stage? And while I was preparing for this live stream, you know, there are some people that have actually set a kind of expectations for themselves, for also their spouses. This is who I want my spouse to be. This is what I want my spouse to look like. Ah, this is what he must have achieved. This is what he must be caring. He must be, all those kind of expectations. And by the time they discover, oh, this person is not fulfilling this expectation, down the fear of, will I even get someone that will meet this my expectation, all of the maybe some or all of my expectations. And before you know it, time is ticking. Time keeps ticking, just like the story Brofala shared. The woman wanted someone that will actually love, and of course, you cannot get married to someone that you don't love. Love is as important as the marriage itself. So I've come to realize that the our expectations, setting unrealistic expectations, can actually slow down and can eventually lead to a kind of fear of getting started, because you are feeling, will it be successful if I don't get these expectations met? Will the marriage last? how many years? I hope after 2 years everything will not crumble. So these are one of the things that actually causes uh delay and fear of getting
Yeah.
started. Yeah, I think yeah, I want us to also consider other ways by which people can actually overcome this fear, this phobia of starting their marital journey. I think another thing, like Stabumi shared, like interacting with people, opening up. Also, I think there are also books, gain knowledge. Maybe I'll leave Sister Bumi and Rafala to talk about this aspect of gaining knowledge, reading books, getting resources that talks about marriage.
So the Bible says in Proverbs 4:7 that wisdom is the principal thing.
Mhm.
And with all thy gettings, get understanding. Let's seek for knowledge. There's a verse of the Bible that talk about that too. Seeking for knowledge. There are some people that are very shy. There are some people that are not really social, that may not be able to express themselves, that may not be able to say all what they are passing through. And thank you for mentioning that reading books may help. Another way is listening to other people's stories. People share their stories. People share what they are going through. People have different standards that have kept them back. Some are very good standard that are emulatable, and some are oh no 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 no. If you consider some other things, you know that this standard is weak. There are different standards like that. When you were talking, I was smiling because I remember 2 days ago, a mentee of hers was with us and we were talking about marriage. I remember that the father of my mentee counseled us when we were preparing for marriage. So it is our turn to counsel him. The father intentionally sent him that, okay, go and meet Prophet Lance Stabumi. And he traveled down. And when I was discussing with him, one of those things he said was, he has somebody that they are praying and trusting God to be together, but he said he has told that young woman that don't bother about marriage. I have a target until I've been able to make this amount of money.
Wow.
Then I'm not ready for marriage. I just laughed because no, sometimes we set standards. Standards are good, but some standards may not be in the purse. Money is needed in the marriage, but it's not the money that will sustain the marriage. There are some blessings that God will not pour on you. I told him this that sometimes if God knows that if I give you this blessing, it will take you away. It will not even allow the marriage to hold. God will rather hold back that blessing until you are married and you be controllable and you will be able to manage the blessing much more than God releasing the blessing to you now and it scatters your life and you don't even have any home. You don't even have any marriage itself. So sometimes, just like Bernat has commented, marriage is a journey of faith. Start it with faith. Move in with faith. Open up to people. If you're unable to open up, seek for books. Books that are not just theories, books that are practical, things that people have experienced, biographies, how people were able to navigate this journey. And I will encourage you, go to church. Go to church. Join groups in church. Relate with godly people. It's very, very important. So those are the few things I may want to add. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So godly association from where you stopped at, like, I think keeping that relationship, well, which may be hard for some people, maybe at the stage of life that they have, but having that Christian friendship is always very helpful. Like you in such a place you find people who can hold your hands and stand with you in prayer over issues instead of just like fighting the battles all by yourself. So godly association. And when we were talking about books, I just remembered Bishop Oyedepo's story when he was talking about marriage. And he said before he went into marriage, he read
10,
10
10 books.
books about marriage. Like he picked out 10 outstanding books and read them. Like he was going into the marriage well informed. And looking at myself, like I have a personality that can overplan and overthink things. So, and I know that there are a few people like that too. While that is good, um, I think just coming from the simple perspective of marriage is essentially, first of all, friendship between the two of you, is always very helpful to like break things down. There's no there's no point bothering, like Matthew chapter 6 says, bothering about what will happen in 5 years of marriage. Are we going to be able to get to 10 years of marriage when you don't day one? Just live one day at a time. Don't bother about tomorrow. The trouble of tomorrow is enough for itself.
Mm.
Like have that balance between being a planner and being somebody that just walk by faith, somebody that just lives and enjoys the moment beyond just overthinking about tomorrow. And I think that is very, very important. And I also want to say for people like that silo of people whose fear is actually born from a legitimate experience of reality they are having with their spouses. For example, you are in a relationship and your partner is already cheating, and you are like, will he stop this thing after we get married? Please, he's not going to stop. Just have that mind. And if you are thinking of marriage, know that you are getting married to a cheater, and that is what you have opted for because it is your choice, or you get out of it now. So if you have legitimate fears that is born out of experience,
Yeah.
like you know that this is what I'm experiencing, like I cannot trust him, like we are having trust issues, we are like you are having all of these issues, face it now instead of just living in that fear and thinking of
Yeah.
how will it appear, how will people feel, how will I tell my mommy we have been in this thing for 4 years now, everybody is saying you should get married, you should get married, but I'm afraid of this and that and that. It's better you face it, talk to um somebody you trust, like open up and face that fear before it eventually becomes like the common capture from Job's story, like the thing I fear greatly has come upon me. So don't let that thing you fear greatly come upon you. Don't go into that marriage in fear. Face the situation, address it now, receive help now, because now is better than when you have already entered into the marriage.
Wow.
That's the thing I want to add.
Thank you very much, sir. And ma, this is really, really getting interesting. And as much as it's getting interesting, we have to bring this discussion to a close. But before we conclude, before we draw the curtain, I would like to also add that, like Sister Bumi shared already, you need to gain confidence. Believe that it's going to work, because no matter what you do, if you still have the doubt within you, if you don't have that confidence, if you don't have that faith, like Ronat shared, it will always draw you back. It will always limit you. And you will find it difficult to be successful even in that marital journey. So you need to be confident. And even the Bible has already promised that you're not walking through this journey alone. God is with you. God's presence will journey with you. We have so many stories in the Bible. We have so many stories of people that you can even see in our own contemporary time. We have we have successful marriages out there. We have godly marriages out there that you can look up to. We have mentors. We have people that you can like open up to. So with all this, after doing all this, be confident that yes, your marriage is going to be successful. Be confident that yes, your own marriage is going to be different from the marriages that have. Be confident that your own is going to be a different home, an heaven on earth kind of home. So, as we bring this discussion to a close, something um, to take home with for our viewers out there, sir and ma.
So for me, I will say from the word of the scripture that says there is no fear in love. Perfect love chases away fear. If you are experiencing fear, then you need to take a step backward and check for what is wrong. Is something wrong with you, or is something wrong with this love that I'm practicing? take a step backward as soon as possible. Overcome the fear. Don't go into marriage with fear, and don't let fear hold you back. If you are experiencing fear, step back, troubleshoot it, diagnose it, and check if it is you, if it is your other partner, or if it is the love. Maybe you are not meant to be together. But if it's about the fear of circumstances, fear of what will happen, fear of money, forget. God will handle all those. Thank you.
Every good and perfect gift comes from above. God still gives beautiful homes. And
Yeah.
good homes, like, they are much more than you think. Like, they are much more than is shown out there. Like, it's easy to talk about problematic marriages, but it is not every marriage that is problematic. There are so many people who are enjoying their homes, who are enjoying their spouses. So
Are you?
don't be overcome by fear. Don't let it's just like when they say everybody is poor. Like, not everybody is poor, really. There are several wealthy everywhere you find poor people. There are several
Wealthy
others
people.
very wealthy
Wealthy people.
people.
Yeah.
So don't think your own portion will be the bad one. God is watching over your portion. He watches over your lot. He gets all that concerns you. And what is yours is beautiful. It's a good and perfect gift from God. So entertain no fear. Just feed yourself with the beautiful things in that relationship, and the Lord will help you.
Amen.
Amen. And yes, marriage is beautiful. Forget about all the talks like, oh, marriage is hard. Forget it. If you see it as hard, it's going to be hard. But I tell you, marriage is beautiful and it's also designed for you. So if you are watching out there and you've been worried, you've been discouraged, you've been depressed, you've been like you don't even know whether to keep going or not. We are encouraging you today. Take double step. Marriage is beautiful and it is designed for you. And on this note, we'll be bringing today's conversation to a close. A very big thank you to all our viewers out there, and a very big thank you to Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji for their time once again with us today on the platform. Is still Ginseng Matters with Roy. And to come your way again, stay blessed. Bye. Ginseng Matters. Come back to Ginseng Matters on Ginseng Matters. It's Ginseng Matters. Yeah, it's still Ginseng Matters with Roy. It's still Ginseng Matters with Roy. Right now, it's Ginseng Matters. Come back to Ginseng Matters on Ginseng Matters. It's Ginseng Matters. Yeah, it's still Ginseng Matters with Roy. It's still Ginseng Matters with Roy. Right now, it's Ginseng Matters. Come back to Ginseng Matters on Ginseng Matters. It's Ginseng Matters. Yeah, it's still Ginseng Matters with Roy. It's still Ginseng Matters with